Can you imagine if in this life there's no consequences to any action? Anything you do, just do it, get away with it. No negative consequences, no positive consequences in this world. Just imagine how the world will be. Hello, today is day 85, and so by our countdown we have 15 minutes. Sorry, I wish it was 15 minutes. 15 days, 15 days more. Yes, we have 15 days more, so everything is going great. I'm so proud of us that we've gone this far. So today we are going to talk about the power of consequences. Yes, the power of consequences. And I started thinking of this topic like a few days back when we talked about the power of choice. If you've not watched that video, I have all the videos linked in the description box below. Do please try, endeavor to watch it. So yeah, so in that video I was saying that every choice has consequences, and since then I've been thinking of this concept of consequence, and I just want us to touch on it today. You know, when I think of consequences, the words that come to my mind are results, repercussion, reaction, outcome. You know, those are the kind of words that come to my mind, like what comes after, what is being triggered. Those are all the words that comes to mind. And consequences, I just want us to view it in like these two different ways. One way is positive and negative. You know, consequences can be positive and they can be negative. And I know that most of the time when we talk about consequences, we always think in terms of negativity. Well, I do. But as I was just thinking about it, I'm like, consequences can also be positive. So there can be positive consequences and there can be negative consequences. Then let's look at it in this other way. There can be natural consequences and man-made consequences. Like an example of natural consequences, if, for example, I stab myself, I don't eat, I'm going to lose weight, right? It's just a natural thing. If I expose myself to germs, I'm probably going to get sick, you know. That's a consequence. As opposed to man-made consequences, like if I refuse to go to work, I will get my salary, you know, or I'll get some kind of punishment. Or if I like break the red light, I'll get fined, or you know, something like that. So those are man-made consequences. So those are the kind of consequences that, you know, I've just been looking at. And the consequences, whether it's positive, negative, natural, or man-made, the most important thing about consequences is that they are so powerful. They are so powerful and they affect our lives in a very, very tremendous way. So what makes consequences so powerful is that they are like instructors, you know. Consequences are like teachers because they teach us. When those consequences come into our life, then we learn. And consequences are like shapers, you know. They are like molders. They mold our behavior. They determine how we behave. They determine our behavior. They mold the path, you know, which we tread in life. They are like instructors. They are like pointers. They are like compasses to direct us and to show us, you know, the right way to go and the wrong way to go. Because when consequences come into your life after an action or an inaction, as the case may be, you find out that it molds the way you react to that particular thing again, because you will have learned from the consequences of those actions. Hopefully. Some of us never learn, or we are very, very, very slow to learn. But consequences, in any case, continues to shape us, to mold us, to direct us, to conform us to, you know, a particular mode of action or a particular character. So consequences builds our character. And so because of all that, at the end of the day, we learn and we grow. Without consequences, we cannot grow. We just stay at the same place. Can you imagine if in this life there's no consequences to any action? Anything you do, just do it, get away with it. No negative consequences, no positive consequences in this world. Just imagine how the world will be. It will really be chaotic. I cannot imagine if there's no consequences to anything. The way people will be behaving will be really horrendous. And imagine that there's no consequences to our actions in our lives, our personal lives. You can do anything, nothing happens. I cannot imagine any life like that, because that life will be chaotic, that life will be directionless. With that kind of life, we can't learn, we can't grow. So consequences is very powerful because it helps us to grow, it helps us to learn, it helps us to pivot in our lives, change direction, do things better, And at the end of the day, it enhances our personal growth and development. As I was just thinking of this topic, I thought of something that I used to do for my children when they were young. I don't know, I think every mother or father or adults did this for children. Let me know in the comment section if you did it for your children, or if you did it for any child that you grew up with or something. This is what the thing is. I would light a candle and tell the child, that time when children did not know what fire was. This is wicked though. It's wicked, but it was like a learning point for them. You tell them to touch the fire. Of course, it's not going to be something that will hurt them, because even as they are moving their hands towards it, they already feel the heat. So they want to touch the fire, and they're like, I remember that time in Yoruba, we used to call it Jojo. So they will remove their hand. Then you will now be telling them, touch it again. They will say, no. You'll be using the candle or the source of fire, not naked candle. Sometimes it's just like maybe some kind of covered fire or something hot, a bit hot. You will not tell them, touch it. They will say, no. That child has learned that the consequence to touching that thing is pain. And so they won't do it again. And that child in us grows with us everywhere. In life, we see consequences. If it's negative, we run. If it's positive, we are attracted towards it. And that is just the way life is. And so I just want to encourage us that we should not fear consequences. Consequences, I see that it's not a punishment. It's a teacher. It's an instructor. We should allow consequences to build us up, because that's its work. Consequences is not meant to break us down, but to build us up. It's not meant to melt us down. It's meant to mold us into what we are supposed to be in life, into our destiny. Consequences are meant to be teachers, to instruct us in, let me say, the way of righteousness, so to say, so that we can follow the good path, so that we can follow and toe the line, that we bring peace, rest, and just make our lives to be more productive. So I don't know, what is your attitude to consequences? I just want to ask, do you fear consequences? Do you see consequences as a kind of punishment? Even if it's a negative consequences, I just want us to embrace it. Like, okay, this is the consequence of this action. It has happened. What can I learn from it? That is what consequences is there to do. It's not meant to stop us in our tracks. It's meant to propel us, towards the purpose of our lives. So I just want to ask that, what are your thoughts about this topic? Whatever thoughts you want to add, feel free to add it in the comment section below. And one last thought that came to my mind as I conclude is that I was thinking in my mind that personally, it's not because of consequences that I do a lot of things that I do. It's not because I feel that there's going to be negative consequences, that's why I behave well, or that's why I am moral, or that's why I try to embrace whatever positive thing I embrace in my life. That is because of my values. I was thinking about that. And as I was thinking about it, it occurred to me that yes, values are very powerful. In fact, without values, the life that anybody that lives life without value is like somebody that is going without direction, and he's going to make a shipwreck of his or her life. So yeah, I believe values are very powerful. And talking about that, maybe we should talk about values one of these days. That would be a good topic. Yeah, so I think values are very, very powerful. But I was thinking at the same time that consequences are equally powerful. Because without values, consequences cannot work, and without consequences, values cannot work. I think they are brother and sister, or maybe they are twins. Like, it's like a human being that's walking on two legs. So consequences is one leg, values are the other leg. Without one, the other can manage, but the outcome will not be perfect. So we need to have values, but at the same time, we need to be cognizant of consequences. Two of them work together. Because if everything is value, and we say, oh, we have values, but nothing, even if we don't uphold that value, nothing happens to us, then that value, I believe, will not have its desired effects. And if all we will have is consequences, and we are fearing the outcome of something that, oh, if I do this thing, oh, this thing's going to happen to me, and we are doing it just out of fear, but we don't have values, that also will not, the outcome will not also be perfect. So I just think two of them work together. I don't know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I'm just thinking of these things right now, and I don't know, maybe you have a different opinion, or you agree with me. Let me know in the comment section. And so yeah, I've come to the end of today, so I'm going to show us how far I've gone. I don't know if you can see that, because this thing is weird. I can't actually see it, but it's 39 minutes. I can see it well. I can see it, but not so well. I hope you saw that. So I'm going to see you when I'm done. So I'm back. Let's see how far we've gone today. 77 minutes. So today we've talked about the power of consequences, and my takeaway from today's talk is that consequences are very powerful. They help us to grow, they propel us towards growth, and we should embrace consequences. We should not fear consequences or see them as punishment, but as avenues of growth and development. I don't know what your take has been on today's talk. Let me know in the comment section below, and give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you've not. And I'm going to ask you the question that I always say I will ask at the end of every talk, and I always forget. Have you gone on your walk today? So that's it for today. See you tomorrow. Bye.